Hello and welcome to another episode of Inside a Track. I'm back with Pete, and today we're going to be talking all things Aston Villa because it is getting very, very busy for them. Indeed, certainly not just on the pitch, but off the pitch too. So we'll discuss all that in the next kind of 20 minutes or so. Pete, first of all, how are you? And transfer window officially open.
Yeah, all good, Fraser. Thank you. Hope you're well as well. Yeah, the transfer window is now officially open. Obviously, we know clubs have been working away in the background before the window officially opened as well, with a few deals set up as well. But yeah, things should really start to get moving now, and a lot of clubs are looking to do major surgery to their squad. So expecting a busy summer, and I'm sure the transfer window will really hot up from here.
Yeah, for sure. There is already some done deals. One for Villa as well with Tielemans, which we'll talk about, Pete. Also, but let's talk about backroom first, because you can't get the men on the pitch if you've not got the people behind the scenes working on that. Now, we do know that the former Seville man Monchi was set to leave in summer anyway. We knew about that announcement, and it looks like Villa have pounced after almost getting their man from Barcelona, but then that fell through, and now they look like they're set to get Monchi in to that kind of sporting director role, aren't they, Pete?
Yeah, this one does seem like it's pretty advanced right now. Villa are pretty confident they can get this deal over the line for Monchi, who is highly regarded as one of the best sporting directors in European football. He has a brilliant track record, massive success with Sevilla over the years. He's had 2 spells there now, and he had a short spell in Roma as well. But yeah, one of the best operators probably of the transfer market, working wonders at Sevilla, who are one of the smaller clubs in Spain, but have been really sort of challenging the big boys and bloodying their noses over the years, and as I said, winning so many Europa League titles as well. So he's had a lot of success at Sevilla, and Villa will be hoping he can replicate that at Villa Park as well. Obviously, Unai Emery is well aware of Monchi from their time together at Sevilla as well, and they had a successful working relationship there, and they'll be hoping that can continue at Villa Park. And it just shows, I think, the ambition of Aston Villa right now, and they're a club really going places. Obviously, Emery turned things around on the pitch last season when he took over from Steven Gerrard, and they got that finish to qualify for the Europa Conference League next season as well. And I think they're looking to take that next step as well and be challenging top 6, even top 4 next season, with Monchi up above Emery and making good moves in the transfer market as well.
Yeah, and Spain is an area that they're looking at as well, isn't it? People touching a couple of players there. Monchi's a guy that Unai Emery knows as well, and Unai Emery does like a lot of control at clubs he's at. We've seen it when he was at Arsenal, and the kind of Arsene Wenger pictures were being taken down, and all this kind of stuff. Villarreal had success there. So is this something that he's pushed as well, Monchi? Because he will know him, obviously.
Yeah, I think it's probably Unai Emery's probably been the driving force behind this. Obviously, Villa were very close to luring Mathieu Almani from Barcelona earlier in the summer before that deal fell through, with Almani deciding to stay at Barcelona and help them in the current financial situation and help them in the transfer market as well. But yeah, I think Monchi will be a great get for Aston Villa. As you said, we've now seen Christian Perslow leave Villa as well, so I think that paves the way for Monchi to come into Villa and take up this sporting director role as well. And he will obviously work very closely with Unai Emery, and it's a man that Unai Emery trusts. He tried to bring him to Arsenal when he did replace Arsene Wenger at the Emirates as well, but that deal fell through as well. So it looks like these two are going to finally reunite as well, and from their time at Sevilla. And I think it's real exciting times for Aston Villa because, as I said, I think Monchi is probably one of the top operators in European football, and he has unearthed some gems during his time at Sevilla and Roma, and Aston Villa fans will be hoping he can do the same.
Yeah, and he certainly knows how to win a European trophy, or help build a team that knows how to win a European trophy. And Villa obviously have Europe again this season. Let's go back to front as we always do, Pete. We'll just start on Martinez because he's a wanted goalkeeper, regarded by many as one of the best in the world. Can you see Villa allowing him to leave this summer? It looks like it would take a very, very big bid to get him out of there.
Yeah, I think ideally Aston Villa want to keep hold of Emi Martinez. As you said, world-class goalkeeper, was regarded the best goalkeeper at the World Cup, helping Argentina win it. And he had a good end to the season with Villa as they climbed up the table to finish in 7th. So I think Aston Villa want to keep Emi Martinez around at Villa Park right now. It would take a huge offer, I think, to even persuade them to sell the Argentine. You're probably talking £50 million plus. There obviously is a few clubs looking at him. There's been the likes of Manchester United, Chelsea, Tottenham have all been mentioned with Martinez as they all search for new goalkeepers this summer as well. But I think right now, it does see Martinez is quite settled at Villa Park as well. And I think he probably planning ahead for the new season at Aston Villa. But you can never say never in the transfer window, Fraser, as we all know, anything can happen. And I'm sure he definitely figures on the list of some of those top clubs who are looking to bolster their goalkeeper options this summer.
Yeah, the transfer window is the season of the weird and wonderful happening and odd things happening, Pete. So certainly what we know Chelsea looked at, but Chelsea are talking about Onana with Inter Milan today, actually. So that's certainly their top target for that position as well. Centre-back in area, it looks like Villa want to strengthen as well. Pete, we know that Unai Emery loves Pau Torres at Villarreal. Villarreal trying desperately to nail him down to a new long-term deal so that he's not going to go anywhere. Looking more and more difficult that they're going to do that. At the Yellow Submarine, it's unlikely that they're going to keep him there. Villa are one of the clubs who are looking to move this summer, potentially.
Yeah, I think this one's got a real chance of happening. As you said, there's a relationship between Unai Emery and the player as well from their time together at Villarreal, and Unai Emery would like to be reunited with him at Aston Villa. And I think probably now is the time that Pau Torres is thinking now is the time to leave Villarreal and move to the Premier League for a new challenge as well. Because Aston Villa are a really ambitious club, and I think they have got the finances and the personal terms that could convince Pau Torres to make that move to Villa Park. He's been linked with the move to the Premier League for a number of seasons now as well, and a host of clubs have been linked with him, Manchester United, Tottenham as well. So if Aston Villa could win the race for his services, I think it'd be a huge coup for Aston Villa, because for me, he's definitely one of the best left-sided centre-backs in Europe, and he's proven that for Spain and for Villarreal over the years.
Yeah, potentially Barcelona could present a problem if they decide to come calling, but we'll wait and see on that front. Their finances are never simple, so you don't know there, to be honest. But Villa certainly in the race for him. Let's talk about a done deal, though. Yuri Tielemans is joining from Leicester City. That's him calling now to tell you that it's done. Yuri Tielemans joining from Leicester City. Pete, he will come in on a free transfer. Good deal for Aston Villa.
Yeah, I think it's good business from Aston Villa. They're signing a player who is coming into his prime right now. He's a proven Premier League player as well during his time at Leicester, helping them win the FA Cup, scoring that memorable winning goal against Chelsea a couple of seasons ago. Obviously, things didn't work out for him in Leicester this season, with Leicester suffering relegation as well. But yeah, probably a few months ago, we were talking about some of the biggest clubs in the Premier League and Europe, looking at Yuri Tielemans, maybe signing him on a free transfer as well. So I think for Villa to move quickly and get the Belgian internationals, a real good signing for Aston Villa, a good one to get the transfer window off and running for them as well. And I think he'll be a good fit for Unai Emery's side next season. Well, he'll add a bit of guile and maybe goals from that midfield as well, which has maybe been lacking from their side last season, with maybe Douglas Luiz and John McGinn not being as attack-minded as Yuri Tielemans. But yeah, he's a classy player, and I think on his day, he's up there with the best midfielders in the Premier League as well. So if he can recapture that form, it should be a really good signing for Aston Villa.
Yeah, John McGinn scores a bucket load of goals for Scotland, but not as many for Aston Villa, it seems. Certainly is looking for a midfielder who's got that attacking presence, or at least can add to goals. And from the centre of the park, let's just talk quickly about Oxlade-Chamberlain. That's another one that could happen soon as well. He's left Liverpool, available on a free, highly experienced Premier League player, Pete, as well. A few injuries here and there, though. Quite interesting one. Looks like a squad player to come in and bolster numbers.
Yeah, again, a free agent, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. He's had a disappointing final couple of seasons at Liverpool as well. But again, he did show during his time at Liverpool what he could offer when he was fit. A goal-scoring midfielder, great energy. I think he'll be somebody who could really buy into what Unai Emery's really trying to do at Aston Villa as well. As you said, he's got Premier League experience. He's played for some top clubs, Arsenal and Liverpool as well. So he'll be a good figure in that dressing room as well, I think, for Aston Villa going forward. If they get this deal over the line, as you said, he can play in numerous positions as well. Oxlade-Chamberlain's always said previously that his preferred position is central midfield. So it'll be interesting to see where Unai Emery does decide where he wants to utilise Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain going forward at Aston Villa as well. But yeah, good player. Been really unlucky with injuries. That'll be the only question mark and concern over this deal is he going to be fit enough to play so many games for Aston Villa? For Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's sake, I really hope he does stay injury-free, because I think there is a top player in there, and I think if he stays fit and finds his form, it could be a really smart piece of business by Villa, and on a free transfer, it's a no-brainer, really.
Yeah, he's a fine player, actually, Oxlade-Chamberlain on his day, isn't he? He really is. And he played centre midfield, actually, Pete, for Liverpool as well, a number of times towards the end of his time there as well. And then with the Thursday Saturday, whatever run-in they're going to have in the new season. They're going to need experience of Europe, numbers in there. So it looks like Emery is building for that. Let's look at a younger player, though, Nico Williams. We should talk about him. He's been heavily linked to Aston Villa. We know Aston Villa like him a lot. Unai Emery likes him a lot. The player at Athletic Bilbao, he has a release clause as well of around £50 million. Villa look like they could go to pay that too. Very exciting young talent, Pete, as well in Spain.
Yeah, one of the best young players probably in Europe, I think. It's fair to say. Williams, a lot of Premier League clubs have looked at him probably in the last 18 months. Liverpool, Newcastle, Manchester United have all been linked with Williams as well. So Aston Villa, I'm sure, will be right in that mix as well if they can try and lure him away from Athletic Bilbao. As you said, he's got that release clause in his deal, but I'm sure Villa probably negotiating, trying to see if they can get that lowered and see if they can get a deal done for him as well. But obviously, Monchi will be well aware of Williams as well from his time working in La Liga as well. So I'm sure him and Unai Emery are probably both singing from the same hymn sheet here and are big fans of the player as well. Got electric pace, got an eye for goal. Would definitely be an upgrade, I think, for Aston Villa in those attacking positions if they could lure him to Villa Park this summer as well. It's not going to be an easy one to do, but yeah, again, it just shows the market that Aston Villa are in right now. They are in there competing with the top clubs for some of these top players across Europe.
Yeah, they've certainly gone up a level, haven't they now, Aston Villa? They're moving in a new sphere of player now. They're certainly bringing in guys that are capable of helping them maintain a top 8 place in the Premier League rather than trying to get in the top half like they were last season. Unbelievable job by Unai Emery. They are really, really unbelievable. But that leaves the likes of Ward-Prowse, who they've been linked to previously. And my understanding of this is actually West Ham are in quite a strong position for Ward-Prowse. Tottenham have had a look at Ward-Prowse as well. Perhaps this might be one that escapes Aston Villa, Pete.
Yeah, again, I'm sure Ward-Prowse was probably one of those names that was on Aston Villa's list at the start of the summer once the season ended. Again, could be a great pickup from Southampton following their relegation from the Premier League as well. Top player. We all know what he offers from his set pieces. He's can score goals, assist goals as well from corner kicks and free kicks as well. So top professional as well. I think it's probably fair to say with James Ward-Prowse, he's never seemingly moaned or anything else. But during the difficult times at Southampton, he just got on with it. He's a captain as well, so he's got great leadership qualities as well. But I think with Aston Villa getting that deal done for Youri Tielemans and being well down the line with a deal for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, it's probably meant the need for James Ward-Prowse is not as much as maybe it was. So I think those two new midfielders coming in probably solidifies Villa's midfield options for next season as well. And as you said, probably West Ham now in the driving seat for the signature of Ward-Prowse this summer.
But Douglas Luiz has been a player that's been wanted by a number of clubs throughout his time in the Premier League. Is that something you could see cropping up again this summer, or will Villa be quite assured that they've got him for next season? Because he is a man that's wanted by a number of teams still. He's on their radar. Yeah,
obviously he came very close to leaving last summer with Arsenal making big overtures for his signature, but Villa managed to keep hold of the Brazilian and tied him down to a new contract as well. So that will give Villa confidence that they can keep hold of Douglas Luiz. I think he will be a big player for the club going forward under Unai Emery right now as well. He can play a number of roles in midfield, probably best in there as a sitting number 6 in the midfield as well. So the two players that Villa are hoping to bring in the midfield are slightly different, so I don't think it'll affect Douglas Luiz too much. But as you said, he's attracted interest in the past Frasers, so I wouldn't be surprised with clubs looking around to see who they could possibly bring in to bolster their midfield. Douglas Luiz, I'm sure, will be in amongst it for some of those top clubs if they are looking to make some moves in this summer transfer window.
Yeah, watch Douglas Luiz and that kind of circle of people with Caicedo, Rice and all these, and certain domino effects of players not moving or missing out. He becomes an option then for other people. I think Arsenal now settled on Declan Rice. They'll move for Caicedo, so perhaps that takes them away from Douglas Luiz. Aston Villa obviously not a club with little money. They've got great owners, great backing, Pete, don't they? They've got enough cash in the bank certainly to go out and spend quite a bit. Could be looking at £200 million this summer for Aston Villa.
Yeah, I think obviously, as you said, the owners have always backed whoever the manager was. Steven Gerrard was backed financially in transfer market, and Unai Emery has been as well. They have been big spenders. They might have to be a bit careful with FFP maybe. Mm-hmm. They don't want to run into any situations where it might restrict them going forward in the transfer market as well. But the money is there, and I'm sure there might be a few outside Villa as well just to help boosted that transfer kitty as well. But yeah, I think, as we know, there's a few key positions that Villa would like to strengthen in centre back is one of those areas. And then obviously hoping to bring in these two midfielders and Tielemans and Oxlade-Chamberlain, a wide forward, and maybe a backup to Ollie Watkins is probably what Unai Emery really wants to bring in this summer as well. But I think there's no doubts Villa will be right up there amongst the top spenders in the Premier League if they can't find their top targets, because the owners will back Unai Emery and they want to continue the good work that he's already done at Villa Park.
Well, let's move on to two players then up top, and always the boys up top cost the most, Pete, don't they? One of them is Hirving Lozano, who's been at Napoli. He has played a lot of games for Napoli this season. Obviously, they went on to win the Scudetto under a fantastic season they've had. He's out of contract, though, in 2024. We understand his talks are reasonably slow. So maybe Aston Villa are looking to take advantage of that situation, Pete.
Yeah, again, Hirving Lozano, a real top talent, has been around for a while now, from his time at PSV, and obviously he's gone to Napoli and helped them win Serie A as well. But yeah, a top player, proven world-class player, also from Mexico as well. So if Aston Villa could sign somebody like Lozano, it would be a huge lift for the club as well. A versatile forward who can play anywhere across that front line as well. So he would really add depth and options to Unai Emery's plans going forward as well. It'll be a hard one to get done because I'm sure there's a number of clubs across Europe and the world looking at Hirving Lozano and seeing if he can be lured away from Napoli as well. And I'm sure Napoli would like to keep him if they can, as they plan for life in the Champions League next season again, and also as they look to retain their Serie A title as well. But yeah, 1 year left on his contract. If there's no sign of a new deal, they might have to cash in on him this summer, and I'm sure there'll be no shortage of takers for Hirving Lozano, and I think Villa are right in there. Again, it would be a real coup if they could bring him to Villa Park into the Premier League. I think as a neutral, he'd be a really exciting player to watch.
Yeah, and also to note, Napoli are going to strengthen in the wide areas again, where Lozano usually operates, so that can maybe push him out the side a bit more, even though he's played a lot this season. He's also 27, which is quite surprising. He feels like he should be about 38, Lozano. He's been around forever. It's a bit like when you talk about Odegaard. You feel like he should be about 30 years old because he started when he was 16, basically. So, yeah, it's a bit mad. But let's talk about Ferran Torres. This has been linked quite a lot. This would be a big deal to do to get him out of Barcelona. He's still young, Pete. Still got a reasonably good contract there. We know that Aston Villa have been keen, as you've already touched on, to give back up to Ollie Watkins up front. They've looked at the likes of Moussa Dembele, and Everton look like they're kind of leading that charge in the Premier League right now, although there's offers all over Europe for him. Ferran Torres has come up as an option on Villa's list. What's the likelihood of them being able to get that across the line? Because although Barcelona need money, doesn't feel like the easiest deal to do.
Yeah, it's not a straightforward deal to do. You need a willingness from the player to want to make the move to Aston Villa as well. And probably that's the main sticking point right now as well. Ferran Torres is happy at Barcelona. He has no plans to leave right now as well. But Barcelona ideally would like to cash in on Ferran Torres to try and help their financial situation this summer as well, and free up some of the wages for possible new signings of their own, and to keep them within the FFP regulations as well. It's obviously going to be another difficult transfer window for Barcelona as they look to add more players to the squad. So they're going to have to sacrifice some players as well. And it does seem Ferran Torres is one of those players that Xavi would be willing to let move on as well. And that's where Aston Villa are actively monitoring this situation, ready to pounce if they do get an inkling that they can lure Torres back to the Premier League. Obviously, he's played in the Premier League before with Manchester City. Mixed time, I think it's pretty fair to say, during his time at Manchester City. He showed glimpses of what...
Perhaps he didn't get a lot of opportunities, though, Pete, at Man City, you know?
Yeah, no, there's definitely that as well. He showed glimpses of what he could offer to the Premier League, scored some goals for Manchester City, but obviously found it pretty hard to nail down a place in that star-studded Pep Guardiola first 11 as well, which he's not the first player to suffer that fate. But yeah, good players, always performed well on the international stage for Spain as well. So I think Unai Emery well aware of him, obviously with his Spanish connections as well. They'll be hoping that Monchi could come in here and maybe help set up a deal with Barcelona that could help them bring Ferran Torres to Villa Park as well. And again, I think when you got the likes of Ferran Torres, I don't think Villa fans would have been thinking a few years ago that they'd be in the market for these types of players. So it just shows how far they've come, that they're right in the mix for these types of signings as well. And I think Torres, at his age and his versatility, and that he can play anywhere across the front line, will be a real good signing for Aston Villa if they could get it over the line.
Yeah, and another one was Vlahovic. they did look at Vlahovic, but Vlahovic starting to become on the radar now. Some really, really big Champions League teams as well because of his availability and the cost of other strikers in Europe. Again, that domino effect. So perhaps going to miss out there. Ferran Torres potentially an option. And what looks like, Pete, it's about to be a very, very, very busy summer for Aston Villa, looking to build on what they've already done as well last year. Old manager Steven Gerrard, he's away to Saudi to start a job there as well. So it's been all changed for all Aston Villa connections. As you spoke about, Monchi expected to come in the next few weeks and help. I'm sure he's already had conversations with Emery about what they're looking to do this summer as well. So, Pete, thanks again for joining me, mate. Always a pleasure to talk to you. And next week will be someone else, but today Aston Villa, I should say. Thanks a lot again, mate. Thanks all for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheerio.